Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making a double slider card. It's a little bit complicated, but we're going to do it without a die. I hope you'll stay tuned. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a wreath that we're going to cut out with a die. We're going to just cut the center out with a die. So the first thing I did was I took my die and I drew a circle with a pencil, and then that gave me my starting point. Then I'm going to use these peg stamps. They're from several different sets. This one is from the Christmas time set. This one's from Party Garden. This one is from Shady Pines set, and this one is also from Shady Pines, and this one is from Christmas time. And this one, I'm not sure. I think that's also from the Party Garden. I think this one is. I might be lying about that, but I think it is. The first thing I want to do is I want to use my biggest pine frond, and I thought I would use the darker. I'm using Olive Grove and Northern Pine for my two colors that I'm going to do my pine trees in. So the first thing I think let's do these in Northern Pine, so I'm going to put that one closest so I don't screw that up, because you know I will. And all I'm going to do, there's a little mark right here, and that tells you where the bottom of the limb is. And we're just going to kind of go around. Doesn't matter if you miss, because I didn't push hard enough that time. You just want to make sure you're surrounding your circle. The goal here is that our circle is we're sticking to the circle as much as we can. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my die, I'm going to cut the outside with the die, no, the inside. Let me cut it out and we'll come back. So the first thing we want to do, we have to make sure on our card, this is going to be a 5x7 card, we have to make sure that we have room to hide him down below. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our circle up here, and I'm going to make a mark where I want my circle just on both sides. I can always erase this afterwards, it's not very dark. And then we're going to cut that out. But in the meantime, we also need to cut out two little strips with our X-Acto knife. So we're going to need to make a mark below. I'm going to have to put him on here. We want to make a mark that's going to be below our circle, and we have to line it up so that it's below that, and I'm going to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to use my T-ruler if I can find it. There it is. You just want to make sure that that mark is completely straight. Hold on, I have to move it down just a little bit. And I'm going to cut with my X-Acto knife. These are the ones the mole work tools that I got. We're going to be cutting out a little slit, and I'm going to use my ruler for this as well, because I think it'll make it easier to do. All we're going to do is we're going to make a little slice. So now I'm just going to use my scissors. Okay, So those are really important because this is where we're going to make our device that's going to move things around. So let me cut out, well, I guess, no, let's cut out this circle next, and I'll be right back. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take a plastic bag, thicker, a good thick one is what you want, and I'm going to make mine a little bit under a ½ inch, and this is the easiest way to do it, is using your paper trimmer. And then that's what it looks like. Of course you can't really see that right now, and then you're going to want to cut it on the seam. Hopefully it's going to be long enough. We're going to thread it through this. This is the back of mine. I don't think it really matters. Hold on. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this very well, but my two pieces are overlapped like that. You only want to overlap it about a ½ inch. So the video that I watched said you should really use a stapler to put this in place, but unfortunately I can't find my stapler. You know how that goes when you're in the midst of doing something like this and you definitely need a tool and you have no idea what you did with it. Well, that's where I am. I don't know what I did with my stapler. It's MIA. So I'm using some tear tape, and I put a little bit of wet glue down the other side so that hopefully we'll be able to keep this stuck together. It's my goal anyway. That's the most important part about this, is making sure that this piece stays where you have it. I'll line them up, lay them together so that they're perfectly lined up. It's crucial that they're able to spin freely, and the wet glue is kind of one of those issues where if you do it and you get it stuck to the backing, you won't be able to make this move. So our next step is we make a mark on the card, card base that's exactly the same, or card stock that's exactly the same size, and you draw a line around the inside of it, and then we're going to cut that out because this is going to be the front of our card, and we want to make sure that it's that our circle is in the exact same spot. Put that right there. Let me cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay, so on my front I'm going to do a little bit of Distress Oxide inking, and I'm going to start with my ground, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a little bit of Twisted Citron first, just a little bit to go around the bottom. I don't really care if I have those marks, like the circle marks. That's not a big deal to me because I'm going to be doing some other things with it. And then I'm going to do a little bit of Lucky Clover, not very much. So I put 2 rows of red line tape. You can't see it because I took the backing off, right there at the very bottom, and that's where we're going to stick our gnome. He's going to be right there. We want to make sure that he is completely at the bottom because we don't want him to show up here right now. So what I did, I forgot to show you this part, or maybe I did and forgot I did. You want to glue him as close to the bottom as you can, and then when you pull your slider part up, it'll pull him all the way up to there. So we're going to pull them down all the way to the bottom, and then we want to put our tape for this part all the way at the top. So I have a little bit of red line tape right there, if you couldn't see it. And then I'm going to put this on here as straight as I can. And I'm only going to put that little bit of adhesive at the top, and then we're going to make sure it stays. Then I'm going to cut it off, and now we'll use our corner rounder again. Okay, now when I made my card, I made it 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, so that it would be a 5 by 7 card when you had this sticking out. So I'm going to have to kind of figure out where we are with that once I've, you know, I might have to make that shorter. I haven't decided that yet. So then on this side, we want to make sure, on the part with the slider, we're going to put foam tape as close as we can to the slider, like that. And on the other side, that's going to hold it in place. Then we're going to put some foam tape now on the other side. We want to make sure that we have foam on either side of him, but he has to have room to move. This little piece right here. Okay, so I'm going to take all my backing off, and then I'll come back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the front to this. This is the part that goes directly over this. So the easiest way to do this is to take the top and line the two up like that, so that they're completely even. Like that. I have a little weird stuff in there. There's that piece. Then I'll just take off the backing off these. Okay, then I put this little enjoy your day. It should be in a place where it won't run into my gnome. And then I put happy belated birthday because I'm a little late with my birthday card. And I'm going to just kind of center this, hopefully. That looks about right. Okay, are you ready? I know what you're thinking. This is never going to work. Just pull it. There he is. I have some extra mushrooms I just might glue down by our house, you know, just to kind of make it look like there's more going on. Or else I should put maybe a sentiment down there. I'll look at that, and if I change it, you'll see it in the final photo. I hope you enjoyed this, that it gave you an idea of what you can do when it comes to the double slider card. I made one of these one other time, and I'll link that here so that you have it. But there it is. I hope you enjoy it, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.